Yeah, we're so glad you're here. Oh, we're so glad to be together in unity. We're so glad you're here. All right, what are we talking about, Leah?
Well, we're still in the Lenten season for a couple of more weeks, and up until this point, we've been talking a lot about releasing, right? Letting go of things that don't serve us. So this morning, we're going to talk a little bit more about what do we put in that space that we have created by letting all of this stuff go. And so we're going to talk about your point of power. Ooh.
Say with me, power.
So we begin by asking these very powerful and transformative questions. So think about these. Can you love yourself the same way that divinity loves you? Whoa. Ooh, that's a deep question. And secondly, can you confidently say, I deserve all the love the universe has for me?
Let's say that together.
Right?
Let's say it together. I deserve all the love the universe has for me. Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah. So that's what we're looking at this morning.
Now, it's important to understand that religion is not an exclusive club. How many know that heaven is not a gated community? All right?
Well, religion might be an exclusive club, but spirituality isn't an exclusive club.
In Unity, we teach that everybody goes to heaven. All right? Everybody. Yeah, but what about, yep.
But surely not. Yep.
Because what is heaven? Heaven is that spiritual dimension. Guess what? You are a spiritual being, and where does a spiritual being arise from? That's right, from that heavenly space, you know, from that holy spiritual dimension that just happens to be called heaven by a lot of folks. So, is there a divine presence that would exclude anyone? No. So in other words, 2/3 of humanity, when I was a kid, I heard that 2/3 of humanity were going to a forever torture chamber to endlessly suffer.
Yeah.
Because God had an anger management problem.
Yep.
And so when somebody like that says, I love you, how does that make you feel? Not very loved, right? How can that be love? How can that be love? That's conditional love. Mm-hmm. Now, if it's divine love, it is unconditional. How many know that you are loved just because?
Yeah.
Just because you are loved. It's a free gift. It is the isness of life, right? And so, you know, Jesus didn't say a lot of different things, which I have a book called Jesus Never Said That. And we got some, did put them in the bookstore? Yeah. We've got a few of the books in if anybody's interested. But anyway, it's this idea that we have to come out of, is the idea of one-wayism. We need it out of our religion. We need it out of our politics. We need it out of our culture. We need it out of our families. How many understand that when you're dealing with somebody in your family that says it's my way or the highway, what do they become? They become a stumbling block, a bump in the road. Right? And everybody has to walk on eggshells just because the one person says, I'm right, everybody else is wrong. How many know that we got to move beyond that, right? Amen, somebody. I mean, I'm already preaching really good. But it's this idea of black and white thinking. You know, there's a rainbow of colors, isn't there? Yeah.
You know, I was just thinking about that because I grew up with that same understanding that if you didn't live right, if you didn't get saved and live right, you were going to hell. And I think what I discovered in questioning people about that along the way is that it seemed to make them feel somehow superior and somehow better that they were able to not live in sin, do sinful things. And since I'm doing this and I'm getting this wonderful thing, you have to suffer. And that somehow makes me feel better because I've sacrificed and I'm getting the payoff in the end. What a horrible, horrible way to think about things. That's really a very selfish and very demeaning
Well, you know, a lot of it comes from the interpretation of the Bible, scriptures. You know, we've interpreted it from a Western way of thinking, not understanding that the Bible, the scriptures, were written from an Eastern mindset. Jesus was an Easterner, right? It's important. Jesus came from the East, and he taught as a guru, as a master teacher who was teaching an inner process of loving God, loving your neighbor, and by doing that, then all of the other commandments of the day would be fulfilled. How many know that all you really have to do, the only obligation that you have is to love the creation, to love the Creator, to love yourself. Doesn't that make it simple? That's true spirituality.
That's always confusing to me.
Oh, okay.
Because,
Talk about that.
The Old Testament, of course, their mindset at the time was a very punitive, right? Very punitive period. And so Jesus comes along and he says, you know, all of that stuff, I'm doing away with all of that and I'm giving you one new commandment that you love. And still we have bodies of religion out there today that continue to refer to all of that Old Testament punitive thinking when Jesus so clearly said, I'm giving you a new commandment. And they somehow ignore that one.
Yeah. Well, you know, because
there's something in the ego mind that likes the idea of other people being punished.
Yeah.
We got to get over that.
Yeah. Isn't it amazing how if they get theirs, you know, and I don't rejoice when anybody is hurting. Do you? Mm-mm. When anybody is killed, when anybody is tortured, that doesn't give me any happiness at all. That doesn't, to me, it doesn't feed me, right? And so, as we said before, I accept all the love the universe has for me. I choose to love myself and others unconditionally, and I practice this every single day. And that, my friend, is the spiritual practice in a nutshell. Yeah. That's it.
If you could really affirm that and walk in that every day, life would be so different.
Yeah.
So different.
Yeah. And you know why? Because your point of power exists in the now state. In the right now state. Where are you? You're here. And what does that mean? What does that mean? Is that your attention, your focus, your awareness is here right now. I'm showing up. Yep. So whatever you desire, Well, let me read. This is 2 Peter 1:12. Good scripture for you. It says, be established in the present truth. How many understand that truth doesn't change, but your understanding of truth will change if you continue to evolve and grow. Right? And that's the caveat. So whatever you desire and pray for, do you know it cannot find you if you're living in the past or the future? Right? If Amazon has your ancient home address, place where you used to live, you're not going to get your shipment. Right? And so you must be home in order to receive all of your divine gifts and packages. Are you with me so far? Because everything is sent to your home. So where is your home? There you go. Wherever I am, I'm home. Because it's a vibration. It's a feeling. It's an awareness. It's a state of being. How many know that your circumstances don't matter so much, but your state of being is what really matters? Your state of being, because that's your home vibe. That's where you live. It's your point of power.
So your point of power, being in the now moment,
Yes.
means that
What does it mean, Leah?
your point of power is the journey and not the
Yes.
destination. Right? We all think that we have this end destination, that when we get there,
Then I can be happy.
Then we will have accomplished something, and then we can be happy. Or
That's
whatever.
right.
No, it's the journey, being present in every moment of the journey. You're on the journey now. If you're on past journey, if you're always turning toward the past, where does the past reside? Up here.
In your mind.
And it changes all the time. Every time I think about a past event, it changes just a little bit because it's just a memory. It just resides in my memory. And if I hang out in the future, where does the future reside? It hasn't happened yet. It's in the future. But what am I doing with the future? I'm forming it by my thinking. But if I hang out there, I'm not getting what I need in this present now moment. So it's being in the now. And nothing is more important to you right this moment than what's happening right now. Right now. Right now.
Yeah.
Right now.
No, right now.
Right? Right now. Always in the present moment.
Because see, you live in a sense in your mind and in your heart, right? And so it's the constant state of awareness of how I am feeling, what I am thinking about, who is in front of me, what's going on in my life. Those are the only things that you need to be dealing with. Because here's the beauty, something that I've discovered that works for me, and you can think about this, is that if you just deal with what's going on currently, presently in your life, it'll heal a lot of that past stuff. Because you're dealing with it where? Right now. In the now moment. In the now moment, right? So nothing is more important than what is happening right now. It's like if you get somebody who's extremely not, sad, you'll discover they're either stuck in the past or they're in the future. Right? I come from a long line of people, the kings, who could worry the wallpaper off the wall. You needed your wallpaper removed? Let us worry about it for a while. Right? How many come from that kind of family? You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Yeah, we do, don't we? And so it's like we thought worry was love. If you weren't worried about somebody, then you really didn't care. Isn't that true? Let's say it together. I don't need you
I don't need you
to worry about me
to worry about me
anymore.
anymore.
I just need you to love me.
I just need you to love me.
Right? Because that's what we all need. We all need that giving and receiving of love and compassion. Right? What about patience, Leah? Everybody's always talking about, I wish I had more patience. I just don't have any patience.
Well, one thing I've learned is never to pray for patience. I have learned that because, whatever you desire to learn, you're going to have those lessons that show up to teach you that. So I have learned that. But patience, if you really think about it, why do you need patience? Because something's not happening fast enough or. But if you're in the now moment, if you live in the now, then you don't really need patience. You're not waiting for something to happen, and you're not trying to improve upon something that's already happened. You're just in the now. I have all the patience that I need because I'm right now. It's right now. So patience really...
Yeah, because, it's like... You can tell when you're out of the now moment because you're always looking at your watch. Right? You ever been in a meeting?
You ever been in a church service? Don't answer that. You're in the now. But if you remind yourself that you're always exactly where you need to be.
Where you need to be.
You're always exactly where you need to be.
Let's say that together. I'm always exactly where I need to be.
Where I need to be. So when you get behind that slow-moving car and you're railing about how slow they're going and you're in a hurry, take a breath, be in the now, and be with the slow driver that's in front of you and realize that you're right where you need to be.
Or you can go around.
But either way, you're right where you need to be. You're exactly where you need to be. And by staying fully engaged in this present moment, you discover that everything is happening now. Because the past is gone. Wait a minute. That second is gone. It's now. That second is gone. It's now.
So your prayers are being answered now.
Everything is now.
The activity of God is always now, right? I am that I am. Remember that? How many saw the movie? I am that I am, right?
Yeah.
In other words, God is always active in the moment. Bringing you exactly what you need in the moment. So whatever shows up must be what I need in this moment. Now somebody says, oh, I don't like that.
Well, that thought is gone because it's the now moment.
Yeah.
You can think a new thought. In thinking about patience, for my friends that are crafters or artists or musicians or anything that you get caught up in and time just disappears for you, can you see where you don't have to have patience in something like that? You're just so involved in the, oh my gosh, the love and the passion of whatever it is you're doing. You're totally consumed in the moment. I know when I get in those spaces of creating things artistically, I am gone. I don't think about feeding anyone. I don't think about cleaning anything. I am totally absorbed in the moment. There's no need for me to have patience because it's just now. So anybody that's had that experience, that is being fully alive and present in the now moment. And I love that.
If you always do what you love, then you will not need patience.
True.
if you're doing what you love, then you don't need patience, right? Because patience many times is the practice of, clock, tick-tock, tick-tock, tick-tock.
Very linear.
It's very linear, yeah, exactly. And it's like I'm not present because I'm thinking about something that, is going to happen tomorrow. Now, it's not saying that there isn't anything wrong with thinking about the past. It's okay to think about the past. It's okay to think about the future. How many know if you're going to take a trip, what do you need to bring? It's just understanding that what you're doing in that moment, you're bringing the past into the present moment and dealing with it. You're not like, oh, it's the past, it's awful. You're thinking, oh, well, this happened and that happened, so this is what I'm going to do now. This is how I choose to live now. Does that make sense? And it's the same way with future thinking. Future forecasting is fine. You just don't want to lose yourself in it. As long as you're doing it right now, it's okay because it's happening now. It's now activity. You understand? And so, knock, knock. Abundance, joy, and peace. Are you here so you can sign for it? Right? So, here's what you ask yourself. You can't sign for it if you're not home.
Yeah.
So, where are you? This is a good question to ask yourself all day long. Every little bit, every hour, just say, where am I? Where did I go? What was I thinking about? How many understand that your brain develops these little grooves in them? Repetitious thinking will create little grooves in your brain. And it's natural, it's normal. And so that's why it's tough sometimes when you want to change because your mind keeps going back to that same groove. But it's not really very groovy, right, to do that. So what you want to do is you want to begin to focus and keep bringing your attention, your awareness to what is right now. Because what is going on right now is the most important thing in your life that you could be doing is right now. If you're here now, this is the most important thing that you can be doing right now, right? It really is. And that's the way you have to approach life, because then life becomes exciting. Life becomes a joy. Because here I am doing my work, and I'm really present with it. I'm really focused on it. And I'm putting my energy into it. See, when you put energy into things, you're creating you're creating energy. See, a lot of times we don't have energy. We lose energy because we're not giving ourselves to the moment. Right? You're not giving yourself to the moment. Every time you get a kiss or give a kiss, you want to be present. Right? Every time you hug somebody, you want to be present. Every time you're listening to someone, you want to be present with them. Now, being present is not like, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about just an observational attitude of being with and truly engaged in the moment, right? Truly engaged in the moment with the person, with the place, with the thing, with whatever it is. What are you doing with your hands? So many times we do dumb stuff, like we step in holes out in the yard because we're not what? Paying attention. We're not present. We're not present. And the more present you become, your brain waves begin to change. Did you know that? Your state of being starts to change. And then you start functioning at a higher level. Ooh. Wow. And your brain begins to oscillate a little faster, and you can begin to do things in a more accomplished way, right? Because you're present. Knock, knock. Love. The packages, the answers to prayer, the relationships, whatever it is that you've been looking for is knocking on your door right now. It's knocking at your door. But if you're not home, right?
So if we're bringing the past into the present, and that's where we're living instead of at home in the present moment, then what I'm really doing, remember that what we think about, we bring about. So if I'm living in the past, and there's bad relationships in the past, and that's where I'm choosing to hang out, what am I creating for myself now? Bad relationships. If my childhood was filled with shame and guilt, maybe even my adulthood filled with shame and guilt, and I choose to live in the past with that, what am I creating and bringing into my now moment? Guilt and shame. Now we go back to the fundamental questions that we asked at the beginning. Can I truly believe that a divine spirit loves me unconditionally, fully? If I'm bringing all the shame in the past, shame and guilt of the past into the present, I'm not going to be able to do that, am I?
Because you're not really being present.
Right.
You have to go to the past in your mind so you can torture yourself about it, right? So you can beat yourself up. Oh, I remember in that first relationship I had, oh, it was awful. I'm so ashamed, and I just feel so bad of the way that I acted and the way they were. I mean, they were terrible too, right? And your mind, you just go to all these places in your mind, and then you think back to the second one, that second marriage that didn't work out, you know. Oh, boy, that was really bad too. And then the third one. You know what I mean? It's like, and we're living outside of where life is really happening. That's not life. That's death. That's regret. That's fear. That's torment. You know, if I'm thinking about, you know, what Leah said to me, 30 years ago, and how it really hurt my feelings. And I'm just thinking about it. Right? There's no now relationship. Because I'm still seeing her as that person that hurt me 30 years ago, that said that thing. But it's not even real. It's not even real. It's an illusion of my mind. I'm creating it. I'm making it real. Remember when you said that about me? Remember when you were late that time and made me late, made me look bad in front of everybody? And that never happened.
No, I don't remember that. So if you think about it this way, the now moment is filled with all the unconditional love, peace, wisdom, joy, goodness, light, grace, all of it. And when we choose, because we do choose, to bring the past into this beautiful now moment, we corrupt it. We destroy it.
Yeah, I mean, we
and now we're
put ourselves
living,
outside of it.
Yes. So staying in the moment is what allows us to have this point of power where we can connect and believe and pray for what we desire, and just have this knowingness that we are loved beyond measure by the all that is. So, what does someone who is fully engaged in the now moment, what does that look like? How do you know if you're engaged in the now moment fully?
Because I'm focused on my intentions and my actions.
Oh, not the past?
That's right. Not your
Not
intentions
what's
or
gonna
your actions. I'm focused on my
my.
intentions and my actions. Right? Because that's the most important thing in my life right now is what I'm intending. What I'm intending. What I am declaring. What I am praying. What I am affirming. That's the most important thing. My actions. I want to be aware of my actions. Right? Mm-hmm. And so I'm also busy appreciating the blessings I have right now. Right? Wow, I got the sunshine today. How many saw the sun? That's kind of a good thing, isn't it? Mm-hmm. The sun is a great thing. It's a beautiful thing. The wind is wonderful. All of this beauty, the awakening of nature right now. Are you paying attention? Are you paying attention to what's really going on? Nature is springing forth and coming forth out of its tomb of sleep, and it's waking up. And the little bunnies, you can see them hopping around. And do you know what nature really is? It is God in physical form. That little bunny, that little sweet little bunny, that's God. Right? Those little floppy ears. Isn't he cute? Yeah, that's God. Yeah. It's the flowers, that's God. That's spirit. That's powerful, energetic, healing for me and for you. And if we just embrace the springtime, embrace the awakening, embrace the new growth, the new opportunities, a new way to live and be and to expand in this new time, in this new day, right? Yeah.
Sounds good. Another sign is being in balance. I love wearing things that have affirmations on them to help me remember. So my bracelet that I have on, this little stretchy thing on the other side of it, says balance. And every time I look at it, it's a reminder to me about being in balance. But that's one of the signs of being in the now moment, being in balance. I'm not in a hurry. I'm accepting what is, allowing for everything, being present with whatever shows up. Oh, that feels good. Not resisting and fighting everything. Just allowing. Just like the flower unfolding, allowing.
But Leah, you don't understand.
No, I don't.
The world has gone crazy.
Not
it's
my
weird.
world.
It's out there.
Not
Everything
my world.
is just falling apart. What's going on? I'm focused on my intentions. I'm focused on my actions. I'm focused on what I'm doing right now. Because you know what? If I focus on that and I keep planting some good positive seed, you know what I'm going to have? I'm going to have a good positive harvest. I'm going to harvest good things. I'm going to grow some good veggies in my garden that I can eat, that I can live and grow from, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm having way too much fun to need any patience. Let's say that. I'm having way too much fun to need any patience.
Eckhart Tolle said, as soon as you honor the present moment, now get this, as soon as you honor the present moment, all unhappiness and struggle dissolve. and life begins to flow with joy and ease. When you act out of the present moment awareness, whatever you do becomes imbued with a sense of quality, care, and love, even the most simple action. We all know who Eckhart Tolle is?
He's that now guy.
Yeah. For those of you that don't know, he's the now guy, the author of the Power of Now.
So as the creator and decider and designer of my life, I'm like a king or queen who sits on their throne every day, and everybody brings little entertainment and gifts for me, okay? And my point of power as being the king of my life is to decide what to do with it. Okay? They come in and they're juggling. Oh, this is great. I like this, But they come in sometimes and they're, then I move on, right? How many know that you don't have to stay with whatever is happening in your life unless you need it for some reason or other? You see what I'm saying? You can there are some people that you don't need to spend a lot of time with. Have you noticed that? I believe that there are stayers in our life and there are passer-throughs.
Get what you need and get out.
Yeah.
Get the lesson that you need.
Sometimes
and
all
move
you
on.
need to do is shake hands, say, hey, how you doing? It's nice to meet you. I'll see you later. Right? And that's okay. How many know you got to take care of yourself? Because there are those that will steal your energy. If somebody's judgmental and they're picking on you all the time, why do you keep submitting yourself to the bullying? Right? Thank you very much. I'll talk to you later.
And as you've said before, it's important not to get the stayers and the leavers mixed up.
Yes.
So those that are supposed to leave, you wind up letting stay, and those that are supposed to stay, you let go. It's not good to get those two confused.
And it's real easy. Are they tormenting you?
Don't let them stay.
That's a good test right there.
That's right.
So it's your point of power to decide what to do with it. It's always your choice.
Thank you.
So see where the present moment leads and then move to the next thing that shows up. Get used to saying, next,
Yeah.
next,
Next.
right? What's next? What's next? Everything will lead you to the positive good when you come from this place, but you have to have that belief. If you don't have that belief, all things don't work together for your good unless you believe it. Say with me, oh. I've had people tell me sometimes, James, I went through the situation and I didn't see a positive thing out of it. I said, okay. I said, well, do you really believe? No, I don't really believe in that. Okay, all right. How many know you have to believe in those things and those principles, and you have to become aware of them. You have to affirm them in your own life. Nobody can do it for you.
Yeah.
Tell the person next to you, say, I'm sorry, I can't do it for you.
Can't do it for you.
How many know that even when you make the wrong choice, we call the wrong choice, even that is used for the fuel in the fires of your motivation. Yeah.
Because it's not really a wrong choice. It's a learning opportunity.
That's right.
There are no wrong choices.
So never discount any choice that you've made. Learn from it. And then you got the point. Mm-hmm. Don't invalidate the stepping stones that brought you to where you are now. If you invalidate the stepping stones, there will be no place for you to walk. In other words, how did you get to be so smart? Because you made some mistakes along the way. How many know that mistakes are okay?
I had a lot of learning opportunities.
There you go. So sometimes you need to walk a ways in the direction you are going, even if it is not completely the right decision, so that you can use the tool of contrast. to see where you are. Leah and I, we grew up in the fundamentalist church, and we became fundamentalist ministers, doing our fundamentalist things. You know what a fundamentalist is, right? One who forgets to put the fun before the mental. Right? And so here we were. But you know what? All of those stepping stones, all of those synchronistic experiences, those people that we met, those situations that happened to us that were hard at times, that were harsh and almost cruel, seemingly at times, were the stepping stones that brought us to our journey in unity. You see what I'm saying? So everything that happened, I can look back and say, okay, I needed to go through that because I learned so much. You will learn so much from your foes and your so-called enemies. You know, you'll learn more from your problems, your challenges sometimes. Isn't that true? Yeah. Because this gave us an obvious picture of what we needed and what was truly important. Because after a while, you begin to see, this isn't making sense. This isn't working. I'm not happy. You're not happy. Are we not supposed to be happy? And you start asking yourselves these questions.
Yeah, because we come back to, again, it's the journey, right? It's the journey, not the destination. So if I'm on my journey and I pull off to see the world's largest ball of twine, okay, that was interesting, you know, but I didn't, you know, I'm back on my road. Oh, here's another opportunity to see another ball, the world's biggest ball of twine. Maybe I'll check this one out. You know, you do that a few times, and you finally quit veering off to see the world's largest ball of twine, right? It's like you do these things enough times, I don't need to do that anymore. But it's all part of the journey. It's all part of what gets you down the road, and it's all okay, because by the time I get to that 20th world's biggest ball of twine, I know it's a setup. I've already been off 19 times looking at it. I already know what that's all about. I don't need to veer off and do that anymore. So it's an
Are you a cat?
Maybe. It's an important lesson that I have learned along the way, along my journey.
Yes. So let's close with this. What is relevant to your path right now? What's really relevant? That's what you want to go with. If it's not a whole lot of relevance, just next, right? Next. But then if it keeps showing back up, that means, oh, there's something here. There's something I need to look at. There's a different way I need to approach this. And that's where the wisdom comes in, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to recap, we've talked about your point of power, which is being in the now moment. And 2 transformative questions that you can ask yourself. Can you love yourself the same way divinity loves you? And can you confidently say, I deserve all the love the universe has for me? And you can answer those questions when you stay engaged in the now moment, not bringing in the horrors and the mistakes of the past, which were really just our learning opportunities, and not by living off in the future and worrying and hurrying about things. Staying engaged in the present moment is a powerful, powerful thing to learn to do.
It's the only thing that you need to be doing.
Yeah.
Right? All right,
And
let's
do you
take a
know
breath
that I
together.
looked at our daily word this morning, and
Oh,
it's
yes.
about awareness.
Ah.
So, you know, it always just goes right along with what we're talking about, always. So let's affirm together. I live with the assurance of my divinity. There may have been times I doubted my ability to create the life of my highest imaginings and resigned myself to living a limited life. Today I make a new choice. I see myself as fully divine and fully human. I am so much more than my past. Even if I have made regrettable decisions or disempowering choices, I have the assurance that with each new day I can begin again and build the life I want to live. As I pray, I feel the limitations of the world fall away. And in the silence, I feel the presence of God and the fullness of my own divinity. This is the enduring truth of who I am. I affirm, I am strong, I am creative, I am wise. I leave the past behind and eagerly create my future, assured of my eventual success.
That was beautiful.
That was timely with what we were talking about, and we did not see that before the lesson was put together.
Yeah. Well, let's create a little ambiance. Is that all right? Turn down the lights a little bit. Create a little mood here. Just sort of a relaxed state. I want you to think about maybe some people in your life that you really, or once you loved them, you really cared, you were passionate for them, but maybe now not so much. Maybe you're not as passionate about your life, yourself, as you once were. The key is to fall in love with your life. Fall in love with them over and over and over again. It's a wonderful sensation and feeling. It's recreating that feeling, that awareness of that loving respect for each other, that care, that concern for each other. Because the ego thinks it's getting older. Well, you're not getting older. You're just becoming more of who you were always meant to be. So I want you to think about some of these things that you can fall in love with again. And I just set aside the cares of this world and fall in love with you again. I just throw away the troubles of this world and fall in love with you. And I just set aside the cares of this world and fall in love with you again. I just throw away the troubles of this world and fall in love with you. Oh, I just set aside the cares of this world and fall in love with you again. I just throw away the troubles of this world and fall in love with you. Sing it with us. It's real simple. I just set aside the cares of this world to fall in love with you again. And I just throw away the troubles of this world and fall in love with you. Let's do it one more time. I just set aside the cares of this world to fall in love with you again, and I just throw away the troubles of this world and fall in love with you. So breathe deeply now. Breathe into this now moment. Bring all of your energy, all of your being, all of your attention, and just focus on channeling it through your body. Yeah. Whenever you focus your attention in that state, in that moment, you come alive. You come alive. And you're more alive in that moment when you're present than at any other time in your life. So this morning we renew ourselves in that energy and that divine presence of unconditional love and acceptance and care and passion. We fall in love once again. We fall. We renew ourselves in this love and acceptance. I accept myself as I am. Who else could I be but me? It's who I am. And in this moment, I'm becoming more and more of myself. I'm more and more at home with myself, with my body, with my mind, with my work, with my writing, with my teaching, with my sharing, with my career. I'm more passionate now than I've ever been. Yeah. Choose your excitement. Choose your joy. Choose your passion. Choose to live in the abundance of the here and the now. Everything you need is right here. Because it comes from inside you. That's the beauty of it. It comes from within you. So hang out with an enlightened being, yourself. Right? Breathe and breathe. Let's take a moment to appreciate. All the good in our lives. Is there something you're really grateful for this morning? Can you think about it for just a moment? Say, boy, I'm really grateful for that. I appreciate it so very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And in that moment, you just changed your vibe. You just raised your frequency. You just moved back in. You came home. You're back home again. What would you like to intend? What are your intentions this morning? What are the areas that you're ready to take action? You're ready to move on this or move on that, or ready to do this or go here or go there, whatever it is. And it can be anything. Just do it with joy. Just do it with love. Do it with laughter. Do it just being yourself. How about that? If you know of someone that you'd like to bring into this moment to pray for, to hold in this moment, I invite you to just whisper their name aloud at this time. And consciously hold them in this space. I love you. I envision your highest good. I see you moving forward now. I see you receiving all that you need. I bless you. You are blessed. I see you as a sacred being. I honor you. I appreciate you. We love our country. We love all the people in it. We send forgiveness, reconciliation, and peace out into the world. And healing. We are all powerful beings, filled with the light and the power of divinity. And we say to the world, be healed, be well, and be whole. So I invite you now into the silence for just a moment. Let yourself recharge, renew for just a moment. Thank you, Spirit. In the name and nature of the Christ's presence, all that is sacred, holy, and good, we say, Amen. And so it is. I invite you to reach and stretch. Feeling good, feeling alert, feeling present and at home in your body. Yeah.